To On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? What's going on, everybody out there in the On the Chain world, On the Chain community? Anyone that's following crypto, following XRP, comes in here with us every week, week after week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday mornings. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, Chip. We're going to talk about XRP FOMO because there's a lot of that going around, and a senator's plan to reverse Gensler's damage, because we all know that we've been damaged by Gensler, and Deaton exposing corruption. What else is new? What are we going to get into? Because there's a lot of things on the topic, on the docket. So, Chip, if you're ready to kick this thing off.
I was thinking about going a little old school since this is our 5th year doing this, Jeff. I thought I would do a little bit of old school, and I'm going to go with an old school open. You guys have 28 seconds. Grab some coffee. Or a drink, or do give me 10. Drop and give me 10 push-ups. How's that? Ready? Yeah, let's go. Let's go old school.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain with Jeff and Chip.
There it is,
right.
Jeff. That's whoa. That was like a long time. I ran a few errands. I got a cup of coffee. I got a drink. It was great. It's a long open. Guys, drop where you're coming in from. We want to know. It's important. We need to know where you guys live. Not that we're tracking you or anything. We just want to know, like, where are you coming in from? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, lurkers? As Willits always says, what are you doing, lurkers?
Chip, do you have the thing up yet?
Celebration.
You got the thing?
Yeah, I have it. You know the thing. I got the thing.
You got the thing?
Yeah,
it's good. It's up.
Yeah.
So does anybody out there know the word of the day?
What's the word, guys?
What's the word of the day? We got a badass. Okay, so we're doing a giveaway today. Got a badass Yetis from the White Tribe that we're going to be giving it away. But you guys need to know the word of the day. What is the word of something? Someone's going to give us the word of the day.
Zero. That is not the word of the day. I will give you the first. The first hit will be badass. That's the first hit. But as we get into this, let me go ahead and start sharing this. Zero.
Right. Someone's going to drop it out there. They know the word
badass.
Of the day. I think it was the word of yesterday too.
Yeah, it's the word all the time.
It's the same word. It's the word.
If you're interested in winning a,
I got to pull it up too.
Yeah,
pull up the badass Yeti that we're going to be giving away.
Zero entries.
I'm going to give a cool one away today.
Yeti is the word. Type Yeti. 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 Let's talk about this. This is interesting here, because what a different world we're living in from just 6 months ago or even 3 months ago. Amazing. So U.S. Senator wants to undo Gensler. And this is interesting. So we have Tim Scott. He's out of South Carolina. He's a Republican. And at one point, he was one of the top 5 to potentially become, he was considered to become potentially Trump's running mate. So he's pretty close to Trump. He's always been a big supporter and defender of Trump. And he voices support for Paul Atkins' nomination to be the new chair of the SEC. Said Paul Atkins' extensive experience in financial regulation will be critical to reversing the harm that Gary Gensler's done to our capital markets and U.S. economy. I look forward to working with my colleagues to quickly consider his nomination. President-elect Trump nominated Paul Atkins, a former SEC commissioner and cryptocurrency advocate, to lead the SEC. Atkins served as a commissioner from 2002 to 2008, known for supporting financial innovation, favoring lighter regulation. That's a plus. Nomination also includes a shift in the SEC's approach to cryptocurrencies, contrasting with outgoing chair Gary Gensler's strict enforcement actions. Crypto advocates have welcomed the move, anticipating a more favorable regulatory environment. And a vocal advocate for crypto, Scott has consistently pushed for policies that foster blockchain development in the U.S., highlighting his commitment to advancing a regulatory framework that prioritizes innovation. He stated in December 2024, he went on to say that crypto has the potential to democratize the financial world. Now think about this, Jeff. Let's just break that statement down. This is what the next nomination for the SEC chair said crypto has the potential to democratize the financial world. What a departure from the loser Gary Gensler.
I like it. I like the different approach. I like the fact that we're going to democratize. We're changing things, unhindering. Man, we're completely unburdened by what has been.
We're unburdening from all the unburdening is what we're doing, Jeff. And that's the greatest thing ever. No more unburdening the things to be burdened by. So he says he's looking forward to working with Trump. David Sachs, my colleagues in Congress, develop a regulatory framework for digital assets and encourages innovation. So, it's interesting. We got the FIT 21, which was passed, I don't know, June or July by the House. And of course, the Democrats who controlled Congress, we were told, the House, the Democrats controlled the Senate. We had the Republicans controlling the House of Representatives, which is where the FIT 21 passed. Although it's been just sitting in the Senate for 6 months now, nothing. Now, I actually think we could come out with something better, Jeff. It's potentially could be better. But Trump appointed Sachs, who's the venture capitalist at the White House. And let me finish this other statement. So he says, I look forward. He says, I finished it, I guess. Trump has appointed Sachs, a venture capitalist at the White House inaugural AI cryptocurrency czar. Jeff, do you want to take a guess who the current cryptocurrency czar is that was appointed, I think, at least over a year ago?
I think it was supposed to be Kamala, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was also the border czar. The phenomenal of both.
She would just hit it out of the park. She was awesome.
She
so great.
I don't think she even knows. The appointment marks notable shift from the outgoing SEC chair Gensler's stricter policies. It's not even about policies. It's not Gensler's policies. Like, this is absolutely wrong. It's not Gary Gensler's policies. It's Gary Gensler's idiocy, I should say, because he was attempting to interpret law by having this enforcement action. And it's not like, Gensler doesn't have any policies. His sole job as the SEC chair was to enforce. And guess what? Crypto's not a security, and he's got no right doing any of this garbage, right? So Gensler, who led the SEC during the period of heightened scrutiny of the crypto sector, remains unpopular in the industry during the during the Bitcoin 2024 conference in July. Scott declared the Biden administration wants to impose a 30% tax on Bitcoin mining. And the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, has shown hostility to the industry at every turn. We need a regulatory environment that encourages innovation here at home, not overseas. To get into the rest of this, Jeff, but I think what's really clear here is that we have a very different Congress. We have a very different administration, the way they're looking at it. We've got business people. This is not the first time in history where we got a guy like David Sachs, right? Bill Ackman, all these, Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, did very well in life. Business people with the business mind, not sucking off the teat mind of the government, where they just suck them dry and go into Congress, do trading that would normally people would, insider trading, most of us would get dropped for. Jeff, what do you think? What's your thought on this whole sort of a new frame that we got going on here?
So obviously we've discussed this many times. There was always this notion of a reset had the Democrat Party won. If the blue team won, all the different politicians that were anti-crypto were somehow going to start embracing crypto. We knew that wasn't going to be the case, but what we're seeing now, it's such a clear departure. They had unelected bureaucrats like Gary Gensler that was disenfranchising investment in the country, investment in this technology, not just disenfranchising individual investors, which were damaged in the billions of dollars, but we're talking about damaging actual corporations and disenfranchising any during this period of time. Had they had another 4 years of this, it would have been current and future development within the crypto space. And that means development in this country. So it's created a lot of tension. And we heard it, right from Brad Garlinghouse. We heard it. There were a couple different segments from, different players over at Ripple talking about the new administration coming in, how much positivity there is around it, how the expectation is changing. And Brad Garlinghouse said it in October. He said, that they anticipate the changing of the guard is going to have a completely different approach. So here's a big business guy, big MAGA support at this point, because MAGA is cross ideology. It's bringing people like-minded together. We don't have to share 100% the same vision. Everyone has a little bit of a different approach. The key is they want the betterment of this country that we live in. People that are in Australia, you got to want the betterment for Australia. If you're in India, same thing. If you're in, doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, that's your passion. That's the country you live in. You want the best for that country. We're in this country. We want the best. The only difference is that when we want the best in this country and we're firing on all cylinders and we're, throwing up, home runs on a regular basis and big wins, it impacts the entire world. Everybody benefits. Everybody's happy on a global scale. And that's the one thing that's been different, Chip, the past 4 years, is that we haven't had that. So now as we go back into the next 4, it's going to be exciting. We're living a whole different time. Crypto is going to be the biggest benefactor because we have congressional representatives. So we have the most friendly Congress ever, in the last whatever decade, and we have a president that's embracing crypto. What else do you need?
Just some fireworks to have some excitement.
Kamala Harris has been dissing French fried too.
Dissing French fried, but that's that I don't doubt. That I pretty much really understand. Bullish Mr. K here. Oops.
Well, put that one up first.
He said he was burdened by the unburdening of the confusion of the last 4 years of the numpty Gensler and the Warren Patsy. Yeah. The best thing about Warren, John Deaton didn't win. She's nullified. This witch is going on there. The fake Indian goes on there and she's like, and if you look in the comments, she gets hammered. If there's 5,000 comments, 4,999 are evil and hate her. So, I mean, she's just spitting in the wind at this point. I mean, she's completely useless. She's got a 6-year term. For 6 years, she's going to have zero power. She's not in any committees. She might be like the lower one, but she's off. Chad says, Gensler's job was to run point and Operation Choke Point 2.0. That's exactly right. Regardless of anything else you heard. We got Visual Vendetta that says the damn Dems really showed their true colors and intentions when Trump exposed them. Yeah. And you see a lot more people. And, people who, the funny thing is like you've got Elon Musk, former Democrat, Trump, former Democrat. Who else? Bill Ackman, he's a Trump supporter. I think, and he still is a Democrat. But you have all these amazing people, Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat. Right? There's just so many of them. I mean, people in business that just saw the light that said, hey, this is not cool. You can't have it. Visual Vendetta question. Now that it's over, is it over that Trump's in power? Yes, correct. Yep, there you go. RFK Jr., former Democrat. If you can get together for the betterment and the good, if you were to take Trump and RFK Jr. and put them in a room, there's probably 90% they wouldn't agree on, but let's work on the 10% we have agreement on, right? So it's okay that you don't have to agree on everything. And I think this is the big sort of sea change that we've seen coming into this administration. Trump last time, he was a novice, like he's a business guy. If you notice all the things that happen, and we're still how many days away, Jeff? 7 days away from him taking the White House. We already have a lot of stuff going on. We already have the Gulf of Mexico, now the Gulf of America. We have announced he wanted to buy Greenland. Next thing you know, Greenland declares its independence. So now he's free to do trade agreements directly with Greenland, right? I mean, it's all this stuff. And the funny thing is, I know what the news wants us to focus their attention on, Jeff? When it comes to the fires, Trump bad. Well, listen, last time I checked, Trump's not even president. And if we go back to 2018, he went to Newsom. He says, you got to do the ground clear. You got to do the ground burn. You got to make sure that it's clear. Why was there no money in the water in the reservoirs, right? Why was the reservoir dead? Why didn't the fire hydrants work? We know the answers to all that, but it's just pretty sad, Jeff, when it comes to it.
All right, it's time for the chip rants. Crypto, politics, XRP, dispelling the FOMO and FUD, setting a record straight. This isn't one of your YouTube fanboys.
Not ready to rant yet, Jeff.
If you're standing up, sit down. This is the chip rant. Let's go.
By the way, Jeff played this for me today. He sent this file to me. I was laughing so hard. I was like, this is great. I'm not ready to go on a rant. That was just like
Oh,
a
come on.
rant. That was
You're
like,
on your way. You're on your way.
wait till you see the one I do for you, Jeff. Wait till you see the rant, the one I create for you. It's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. See? I want to talk a little bit about, let's play this clip. And John Deaton responded to it. Boy, did he respond to it. I think John Deaton is vying to do something with the Trump administration. Now, he may not be, if the right people are hearing him, he would be a tremendous asset, as we all know. And I really hope that some of this is getting through, but he's tagging the right people. He certainly has the stature. He certainly has the resume, right, to be able to go do that. And he's got the time to be doing some dedicated follow-up. But let's play this clip, and when we take the clip, Jeff, we'll sort of break it down there. Let's go.
Break it down.
Let's break it down.
Like these tech billionaires are kind of following or trying to play catch up, I guess, with Elon Musk and making inroads with the new administration.
And the best trade of 2024 was Elon Musk put $250 million into the Trump campaign. And since then, the value of his companies and his stake in those companies is up by about $140 billion. So that's about a 5,600% return.
And that's not any change in in Tesla, in the output or anything.
Nothing to do with the company.
Right.
Nothing to do with their operating margins, their innovation, their sales. It's based on a general assumption that America has become a full kleptocracy like Russia, that the largest, deepest pocketed customer in the history of our modern economy, the US government, will effectively is now pay to play and will shuffle contracts, monies, and impose regulatory punishment on the competitors to the companies who do not invest in the Republican Party or in his inaugural campaign, as evidenced by the fact that very few of these tech executives invested in the inaugural campaign fund for Biden, and they are.
Yeah, he's right about that, except he missed a few, because Google certainly did make an investment, because they didn't have to. When you're lockstep with censorship, Jeff, you're not. When you are the party that agrees with all the control and centralization, yeah, what are you invested in? You're already in the game. You're already got the green light. Right. And so this guy is complete. I want to get your thoughts. Let's finish this up.
Their whole premise is already off, right? They're spinning, they're flip-flopping the narrative, right? And now they're anticipating some sort of this kleptocracy, but they don't realize that we've been living through it, right? We've been living for at least the past 4 years. We've lived through it.
Yeah. And Galloway here, who's a professor at NYU Stern, right?
That explains everything.
That's all you have to know right there. So he's not even excited for this interview. Like, these are some of the most unhappiest people in the entire world. They're always angry. They're always like, get off my grass, yelling at the sky, stop it. Kleptocracy. The billion people they're investing in. First of all, it's all the leftist companies who love to censor, who got busted. Jeff, do we think for a minute that suddenly, out of nowhere, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Why does he think that why does he think they want to? What are they afraid of, right? I mean, that's what I want to know.
All doing it for Trump. We have gone full kleptocrat. And if you don't think this hurts everyone, this raises prices. And for the little guy or the companies that don't want to engage in this type of pay for play, it hurts them. This will increase prices and weaken our democracy. This is absolutely no different than how Putin became the wealthiest man in the world.
Do you think this is a long-term change in the political direction of these tech companies, or would they shift course when the president-elect leaves office?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's two things going on here. This is good for shareholder value for Meta to not have to live up to the standards of traditional media companies. News Corp decided to circulate misinformation around Dominion voting machines, despite the fact they knew that was false information. They were sued because it resulted in economic harm against Dominion, and they were punished to the tune of about $750 million. What happened at News Corp on Fox was a dumpster fire compared to the nuclear mushroom cloud of what took place on Meta, yet Meta is immune. So what you have is these companies that are circulating or kind of a misinformation Lollapalooza, quite frankly, are just running away with it in terms of profitability, in terms of shareholder value. So they're totally driven by shareholder value. They're doing their job. We're not doing our job in terms of electing representatives who have the backbone to stand up to attempts to weaponize the government and still believe in a democratic America where there's competition, where misinformation, where a lack of truth, a lack of trust in our institutions.
Let me explain what he just said there. We really love to censor people who don't think like us.
Right.
He's saying right here, Jeff. If you don't think like us, now he's going to use these misinformation,
information where a lack of truth, a lack of trust in our institutions remain pillars of our society. That seems to be eroding, but they will go where the puck goes, and that is whatever increases the value of their shares.
Scott Galloway, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Anderson.
So what's interesting about that guy, Chip, is that
please tell me what is interesting about him.
Well, I'm looking at his history, right? So his education, went to UCLA for his BA, Berkeley for his MBA. So you already have an idea of kind of the twist of, political identity. Then he's at NYU as a professor. Overall, the guy seems to have had, a relatively, decent history in entrepreneurship. Wasn't an outstanding student. He got a 2.2 GPA when he graduated. Somehow, that's what it says here. Yeah, he was rejected after his first application to UCLA, despite 76% acceptance rate. On a second application, they accept him despite poor grades because Galloway was a native son of California. He earned his bachelor's degree in economics. He graduated with 2.27. So he wasn't an outstanding student, but what he did go on to do, he founded a couple companies. He founded Red Envelope, an e-commerce site.
I remember that.
And then he founded digital intelligence firm L2, which was acquired in March of 17 by Gartner for 155 million. So he's more of an entrepreneurial mindset, so the guy's been successful. So you can't take that away. It's pretty amazing what he's done. What's that?
How is he a Democrat then?
Yeah, I don't get it. In 2005, founded in 2005, an activist hedge fund that invested over $1 billion in U.S. consumer media companies. In 2019, he founded online education startup Section 4, and he raised $30 million in a Series A round. So the guy's done a lot.
Your video's weird. Your video's weird.
Oh, my video cut out. That happened earlier.
It's just like started gradually going out. I don't know what happened.
Oh, shoot. I might have to reboot. When
I was
doing the editing earlier, it messed me up. So go through that. I'll reboot it. Take me.
I'll go through the Deaton. We'll get to that. Join.
Okay. Let me leave and I'll come right back.
Come on back. Let's do this, guys. So we're going to throw this while Jeff's rebooting here. But basically, this is a response that John Deaton put up, and this is regarding this clip with Anderson Cooper and Professor Galloway from NYU Stern. And the funny thing about it is, I think there might be more people watching that clip here than actually saw it on CNN. I think there were like 7 or 8 people that saw it on CNN. They're wondering why Biden lost because of that kind of stuff, because of that kind of nonsense. So here we have. So he says, look, I love Professor Galloway. I like Professor Galloway. I believe him to be very intelligent, find myself quite often agreeing with many of the things he says, especially on issues like income inequality and poverty, something I know a lot about. The issue I have with Scott's commentary with Anderson Cooper is the implication that what he's talking about is somehow new to American politics and the incoming Donald Trump administration. Pay to play has been the name of game in Washington for decades. My God, let's not pretend regulatory capture is something new. During the last 4 years, we witnessed some of the most absolute worst examples of regulatory capture and corruption in the country's history, period. And we've also witnessed how current administration has punished competitors of companies who have paid to play. And I've personally been fighting against and exposing the lawfare and regulatory capture that's run rampant throughout the Biden administration the last 4 years, and I've done it for free. Sam Bankman-Fried donated $70 million to Democrats during the 2022 midterms, second only behind another billionaire, George Soros. I added the other billionaire for those on the podcast. During the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried, it was then learned that Sam Bankman-Fried donated $10 million to the Biden administration. The testimony at trial came from SBF's former girlfriend and co-conspirator. She was asked whether SBF had shared with her The reason he made such a large donation to the Biden administration, SBF replied, to gain access to regulators. And boy, did he gain access. So he met with the CFT chairman and the other CFTC commissioners. He met privately with Gary Gensler at least twice. And then Sam Bankman-Fried, before the FTX blow-up, suggested that he and Gensler might be close to a favorable deal for FTX. And at the same time, Gensler was meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of an offshore exchange. Gensler refused to meet with Brian Armstrong, Jesse Powell, and Brad Garlinghouse, or other CEOs of the American crypto companies. You guys know FTX, right? Sam Bankman-Fried also got to testify before the, what is this one? This is the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services. In fact, Maxine Waters, Auntie Maxie as they call her, is on tape blowing SBF kisses. She was so smitten with him or his money. And then the Bernie Madoff of crypto, who operated an offshore exchange, was treated like effing royalty because he paid to play. Jeff, did I have to add you to the stage there?
I was going to add myself.
Okay. Go ahead and add yourself if you're not ready. Oh, you are.
I added myself.
All right, you added yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, did you log in or what? Was you coming in the green room? This is funny. The Bernie Madoff of crypto, who operated an offshore exchange, was treated like effing royalty because he paid to play. That was pay to play. And geez, Jeff, I mean, how much did he donate to the Democrats? $70 million. $70 million to gain access to the regulators. So if we had the 70, I'm not a math genius, Jeff, but I'm going to try something here. If we take 70 million plus 10 million, that's $80 million to do what? To gain access to regulators. I love how Deaton breaks this down. This is fantastic. He said, the Bernie Madoff of crypto, right? I love how he called him the Bernie Madoff of crypto. So there it is. What about Sam Bankman-Fried's competitors, you might ask? Well, the SEC sued them. Does any of this sound familiar to what Professor Galloway is saying to Anderson Cooper? I helped uncover regulatory capture at the SEC that led to Empower US making a referral to the Office of the Inspector General, and an investigation had been completed. The report, of course, has not been released to the public, and I could go into Operation Choke Point 2.0 as well, but it would be redundant. I understand the issue and concern that Professor Galloway is raising, and I share those concerns. During my campaign against Elizabeth Warren, I stated multiple times that the era we've been living through will be described in history books as the corruption era. My point to Scott and Anderson is this: let's not pretend that this era begins on Monday, January 20th, 2025 at 12 p.m. Eastern. Thoughts?
That's it. What do we got to do? You know, it's that's it. Let's see what happens January 20th. That's what it's already starting though. You know, this whole kleptocracy and all the commentary and, you know, the flip up, you know, they're already trying to come after Trump. Look at Gavin Newsom, right? California is burning down. And what are they doing? They're accusing Trump. And there's been multiple, you know, people from California politically inclined that are trying to single out Trump already because of climate change. They're like, see, this is the policy. And, you know, and there was someone else that was on not that long ago. They were talking about, and I think we might even have the clip for that. Oh, no, that was January 6th. But no, there was, but they were talking about the whole global warming thing. So they're immediately trying to phrase it in such a way that a week from now, it's going to be Trump's fault somehow. So they want to back off.
Dude,
everything's crazy. Everything's his fault. Yeah. So
I'll tell you what, nothing you could do better than chime with some Led Zeppelin lyrics. Good times, bad times. You know, I had my share. You know, after that. You know what comes after that. John Doe, love this channel. We love you guys. Denying the existing crony capitalism is the ultimate in projection. Yeah, well said. Project. Well said, Jack. Very true. Mike is sorry for being late. We'll get you past this time. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, so what I find interesting about this, Jeff, you know, I had to respond. You know, I'm not going to read something like this and respond to it. Of course, I'm going to respond to it.
Well, before you read that, because then there's going to be a full-on rant afterwards. So
okay, there might be.
Now we got to get prepped. Now let's get prepped for it. Here we go.
crypto, politics, XRP, dispelling the FOMO and FUD, setting the record straight. This isn't one of your YouTube fanboys. It's raw, unfiltered badassery. If you're standing up, sit down. This is the Chip Rant. Let's go!
Let's go. Here we go. Cue it up. Nice. Jeff surprised me with that today. Don't worry, yours is coming, man. I got the Jeff rant coming. It's under works right now. So I'm like, well said, John. And you came up with the receipts to back it up. This is what I love about John Deaton. John Deaton doesn't give you, he's not a guy that will sit there and tell you, hey, look at this and look at that. No, he brought the receipts. The guy went after the SEC. He won. Okay. He didn't have to. He did it on his own dime. He got 75,000 other XRP holders. He got 3,500 affidavits signed. This guy brought the receipts, and I love it. I'm like, Professor Galloway is another Democrat parroting the overused threat to democracy line, Jeff. And that sets us off over here at On the Chain, drives us crazy. Let's get something straight. The U.S. is not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. And so why is this basic fact, I keep asking myself, why is this always lost on Democrats? Do they genuinely prefer mob rule over a system that ensures a voice is heard in a constitutional republic? Or is it just like easier to manipulate the misinformed public with empty rhetoric? And so what about the blatant hypocrisy of tech giants like Google donating to Biden's inaugural fund while actively censoring conservative voices? No, that's cool because they're lockstep with that. And so we're supposed to believe that all of a sudden Mark Zuckerberg, Zuck, suddenly found religion, grew a conscience, and now he's exposing the censorship demands of the Biden administration, right? Because he's got some moral obligation or duty. Or is it Meta that's more concerned about being caught trampling on free speech, censorship, all kinds of things? And if you're working lockstep with the government, boy, that certainly changes who you are as a company, doesn't it? So the timing's no accident here. With Trump returning to the White House, complete desperation to control the narrative is on full display. And I'll tell you why Democrats always parrot this whole democracy. We got to protect our democracy. We're going to lose our democracy. And it comes down to what Mark said earlier. It's the whole projection. They want a democracy. Democracy always evolves into dictators, Jeff. Every single dictatorship started as democracy or under the guise of a democracy, right? And so the one thing they hate is the constitutional republic. They don't like our constitution. They're always like, we have to respect the Constitution, Jeff. We have to respect the Constitution. And they've been breaking it left and right until it gets back to the Supreme Court a year later. And they weren't respecting it when they wanted to do the student loans. They weren't respecting it when they had to wear the mask. Then you can, apparently with the Democrats, you can suspend it because, the science, Jeff, the people are going to get hurt. And we're just looking out for you. That's all I have to really say about it. No State Farm, please. Don't even get me started on that, man. Don't even get me started. So, Jeff, I'll just end it here saying that this is going to be an incredibly fun 4 years because it's going to be great. We hasn't even taken office yet, and we are just winning. When Elon Musk tweeted the other day that the woke mind virus is dead, I think it's limping. I don't think it's dead yet, but I think it's soon to get crushed. What's your perspective? What did I miss on this whole rant?
Right. You didn't miss anything, but you're right. I mean, they're getting crushed. There's so many of them that are waking up to the ills of the past 4 years. Really, I would say the ills of the past 4 years, but it's really the ills, kind of ill begotten, for, decades, maybe even longer than decades, when they realize that they've been led astray by a certain party that's had an agenda that has really been the undoing. You go back, they were talking earlier, the policies that have led to the disaster of California started probably back in 2000, maybe even before that. So we're talking about 25 years minimum that have led up to where we're at today. The dumbing down of Americans' education system has probably been going on since the 60s, maybe the 70s. It's been a very, diligent strategy, over time to start, dismantling the education system. At some point, there was a turning point, when they finally infiltrated to a high level, and you start looking like at the Department of Education. And then if you look at the creep of the poor quality books and this twisted slant and the change of narrative, the removal of the Pledge of Allegiance, the removal of all these different, things that helped people, the kids, learn and kind of grow to stay positive about the country they live in, and that was replaced. So all these little, and then obviously not teaching the Constitution. So all these different factors were at play, and now we're living in it. We're living in this cesspool. Many of them, if you date it back, I'm not going to point fingers at every one of them because there's obviously a divide here, but there's this common thread of kind of a generation of the baby boomer generation of the 60s that it's their kind of policy, and they're the ones in charge. They're the ones that kind of led us down the wrong path, and I'm not saying all of them but when you look at it, those are the ones that are still in power today, and it's time to get rid of them. It's time to move on, from what they've done to this country overall. And, and we got to look at really every aspect. We look at we just watched that video, Chip, and everything that you're talking about. And, I go back to what I said before, kind of a disenfranchisement of the country that we live in. They want to remove our constitutional republic. They want to change our election system and take away the electoral college because they do want democracy, and they do want rule by the mob, or mob rule by the majority. And so that means you have zero rights, and that means everything is run. If you look at this election cycle, the blue were in cities, not states, right? Big cities, LA, San Francisco, New York City. There are certain like pockets around the country, Detroit, that were blue, but then the rest of the country is red. It's people are waking up, and and they're crushing the woke mob mentality because it can't exist. It can't coexist with our republic. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. It's pretty well said. I mean, it's we're getting to the point of where you got to call it out. I'm glad that everybody here sort of recognizes. You can see with the comments in here. It's hey Steve, happy New Year. Good to see you, man. Steve's another OG. Yeah, you ever read 1984? Oh no, that's shit. And I'll be honest with you. When I had to read, it was required reading. You go to school, it would require reading. I kind of always thought, Jeff, come on. This is the most preposterous thing ever. Like it sounded so outlandish to me that I thought there's no way this ever could happen. And now we're living it. So there you are.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? Well, was on Aaron's reading list, which I was happy about, Lord of the Flies.
Well, that's a good one.
I was so happy that he had to read that book. I was like, man, you're going to love this book. That's absolutely outstanding. I love that one.
Yeah. And that like, there's so much stuff going on in that book that really, tells you a lot about society. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's written, it's so funny that some people take it at like face value, but there's a lot of the things that happen really are very, very telling of what happens in, a society. So that was very, very strong book indeed. So that's cool. He hasn't read it yet though, huh?
Not yet. It just came up on the reading list.
What else? Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Any other good books that he's supposed to read?
That was the one that stood out. Well, they went through and did they did some of the Shakespearean stuff. They did Macbeth and some of those others within class. So this was good. I was happy to see it. What is this? Jeff Rant, Bubba LaRuski.
Well, that's the horrible State Farm commercials that we have to sit through when you used to watch a regular football game. It first started out with Mahomes. You're like, okay, dude, I get it. And then it went into the coach, and then it went to and that was one of the stupid commercials they had. Yeah, that was one of the, I don't know. So that's kind of the whole thing. We'll see what happens. The Chiefs are the team to beat. Let's see if the Bills won today. Big 31-7, crushed.
Crypto Caddy said, being from the UK is embarrassing. Man, it unfortunately got to get their act together over there in the UK. Things have got to change.
The way I feel about the UK, it's the same thing as like the people themselves. Like once your government runs away from you and this is the thing that the founders were brilliant about, because they had the whole idea of, free speech was number one, First Amendment. Second Amendment was to, was to be able to fight off tyranny. I mean, that's really what the Second Amendment's for. People think like, well, why do you guys have to carry guns? And what's that? It's not guns, right, Jeff? What does it say specifically? Does it say you have to own a musket? Does it say you have to own a cannon? What does it say specifically?
No, it does not.
Grab your little. I know you got the Constitution right there.
I got it right here.
Please
Pull
read
it
it.
Here we go.
Please read it.
So it starts off nicely, right? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, which is important, right? And then the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So there's two components to that, right? The idea of the militia, because you have to make sure that we maintain the security of our free state, which would be against invaders, both foreign and domestic. And then the bottom line is the right of the people to keep and bear arms. That's it. That's what it says. Then the most important component to that then shall not be infringed. It doesn't say you can have any type of way, one way or the other. It's just you have the right to bear arms, period. That's it.
Yeah.
You can't make any adjustment or a change or however you want to.
That's the thing when they want to put restrictions on there, like say you got to register. No, the Second Amendment says I don't need. There's nothing about registration in there. There's nothing about paying a certain amount, or if I need a test or something, or a state deciding. 'Cause this is federal, right? But it always kills me when they, something happens and then they always have those bills ready to roll out to figure out how to take your guns. And so in a good democracy where you end up in a dictatorship, this is what ends up happening when you lose your guns, because they're looking out for you in the interest of good people. Over 100 million people have died due to socialism. This whole idea of communism, this whole idea that they're going to look out for you. And don't worry, just trust me, bro. That's the old trust me, bro conversation, right?
Yeah. Well, look what's happening. I mean, around the world right now, we've seen different countries that are falling into this socialist totalitarian mentality. Venezuela stands out in our hemisphere as probably one of the wealthier countries that fell down to millions of percent inflation to where the whole country imploded. Venezuela still having its problem. The people of Venezuela, great people, try to embrace the US dollar, embrace cryptocurrency as a method to at least save some valuation of what they owned. If we look at the last election cycle, Trump's already speaking out about it, and we know things are going to start happening. But Maduro, the old guard, we had an election recently, and the old guard said, no, we're not going to accept it. Ended up arresting the woman that won. And then there's this whole commotion over everything going on in Venezuela. I've kind of ignored it for a while, nothing's really changed. And all of a sudden there's all this new news again about Venezuela. And now we're looking at, there's some articles connecting, who was it? The mayor over in LA to Cuba. And there's all these different things of intrigue, all these dots that are being connected right now. And it's Trump is coming in. Everything's coming to the forefront on a global scale. It's really, really impressive. And look at what happened in Canada, right? Trudeau is going to be gone, right? I think everybody is like, oh shit, we better get our act together. And that's it.
Yeah. And I have to laugh, Jeff, because you will hear everything from these politicians in California, except that maybe we can do a better job, or hey, maybe we missed something. But no, it's not. It turns out that you can't criticize California. And what is Elon Musk or Trump doing? Criticizing? Like, why should they be criticizing? This is just outrageous behavior. To me, I'm just like, I just can't even believe that this is how you want to transfer to the power. You're like, just don't criticize. Insane.
Right.
Embarrassing. Yeah, absolutely. It was embarrassing. You want to see what the mayor said, though?
Definitely more than embarrassing.
You want to see what the mayor said?
Yeah.
Look at this. This is
another one. This is more, Adrian. That's not even embarrassing. That's just it's on a whole different level of almost borderline culpable evil, right?
Evil.
Evil. I don't know what it is. It's on a whole different level.
First of all, she was in Africa.
There we go.
LA is on fire. It's burning down to the ground. She was elected mayor. They had this amazing business guy that was going to run like a business, right? But no. And who knows if it was even a fair election? I don't know. I'm not saying it was fixed. I'm just saying when she was flying in and she got caught by a reporter. If this were a Republican, just imagine this would be broadcast 24/7 every. Listen to this.
Mayor David Blevins from Sky News in the UK.
By the way, kudos. Okay, so you got to say like, the UK has its share of its own issues, but here's a guy from Sky News. You know why? Because the other media here in the US is not covering it. A guy from Sky News has to expose this fraud. I mean, and I'll tell you, half the good reporting that does come out about what's going on here in the US comes from the UK. Now, if they can just do the same thing with their own country, that'd be great. But listen to us. Listen to her. Watch her. Just ignore this guy.
In the UK, where fire chiefs say that they're really stretched to the limit and running out of water. What have you got to say to that? Have you no response to that? Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Nothing.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
Your leadership.
Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
It's amazing. She has no comment. She has zero comment.
Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this
Where's
was
she trying to
unfolding
go?
back home?
She thought she was going to go out that door. And just hammered her.
Or you have to, this is one of those when you get off the plane. Yeah, exactly. There's everybody looking to pick people up.
Huh.
He's in the airport. It's a public place. I don't know how he got access on there because you usually can't get on there, Jeff. I don't know how he got on that plane unless he was on the plane.
He was on the flight.
Again, have you anything to say to the citizens today?
He must have been on the flight.
You're not gonna. How's he gonna get access? He was waiting for it to come out. She
Yeah.
can't get out. Still asking questions. This is great.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to
No words for
deal with the catastrophe.
He must have bought a. Well, how did he get all the way onto the Sky Bridge?
That's what I was wondering. He must have been on that flight.
Yeah.
Look at she just went. Who is she to just go out there on the tarmac?
Right.
She just
exactly
get away from this. This is insane, Jeff.
They're picking her up on the tarmac.
Yeah, this is incredible. So then you have Newsom. This is Newsom giving his first of all, just lie because people will never know. They'll never call you on it. Listen to this guy blatantly lie here.
In Southern California, that mis and disinformation, I don't think advantages or
her non-speech. Yeah, it says everything. It's embarrassing.
It's horrible.
Listen, look at Mr. Slick. This guy's going to sell you a used car. Get ready for it, Jeff. You're going to buy a car. Ready?
in Southern California, that mis and disinformation, I don't think advantages or aids any of us. Responding to Donald Trump's insults, we would spend another month. I'm very familiar with them. Every elected official that he disagrees with, very familiar with them.
We do know, though, from reporting here locally that one reservoir that serves the Palisades was not full.
Somebody made put his hair on fire. That was funny. He's a complete liar and a complete fraud. This guy. Here's a look at this right here. Check this out. They're gonna find out. They're gonna ask some probing questions to find out what's going on with these wildfires. You want to hear this, Jeff? Listen to this.
Could you explain the water reservoir situation, why that was emptied? Okay, first off, I am a they, so please refer to me correctly. But yes, we're well aware of the water reservoir situation. Earlier in the summer, streams were rerouted to protect endangered salamanders into the Pacific Ocean so that they didn't have to swim in waters that were too warm for them. We're well aware of that situation. What about this situation with Mexican firefighters coming out? Yes, fire people that are coming from the country of Mexico, yes, are coming to help us with this uncontrollable fire.
Fire people.
Dude, is this for real?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not even positioning as real, but it has. If it's parody, it's way too. It seems way too real to be parody, but it seems too awkward to not be parody.
I know,
right? It's a salamander. I think it's parody.
The hair,
Where's the fun?
Look, the funny thing is the face looks like Fred Flintstone, and the hair looks like Wilma Flintstone. It's a very strange thing, Jeff. I don't know what's going on. I see a badge. I don't even know what it says, but I'm thinking to myself, is this crazy talk?
We'll probably use money from our unhoused budget to help fund those fire people that are coming from the country of Mexico.
You can't call them firemen. You got to call them fire people, because there's not just men, Jeff.
And what's priority number one? Diversity is our main priority here. Whatever we're doing, we're gonna make sure that it's diverse. Diversity, diversity, diversity.
They, I mean them. I mean they, them. I mean, good gosh, man, it has to be. Jeff, it has to be parody. That can't be real.
I don't know what the hell we just watched.
Yeah, I mean,
the majority of people in California, especially LA, look weird to me.
You want to know what you haven't heard?
Trans buddy Hackett.
Buddy Hackett. Oh my God. You know, that is so spot on. You know what you haven't heard about Elon Musk? This. Has anybody heard this? Please tell me if you have. And I don't want to misspeak, but if you did hear this comment or anything about Fred Flintstone. Fred Flintstone with Wilma's hair. Good gosh. He has that little weird, like, the dark. You got no. But this is something you never hear about anything about Elon Musk when it comes to wildfires.
Elon Musk made an astonishing decision after the wildfires in Los Angeles, saving thousands of lives. The traditional communication towers in Los Angeles were already reduced to ashes in the fire, and the disaster zone lost all signal, yet people could still watch live coverage of the fire. This was all because, at this critical moment, Musk generously donated Starlink terminals to Los Angeles, restoring communication. The Starlink satellite network directly covered all affected areas, allowing information to still be transmitted even when ground networks completely failed. Many rescue requests and on-site firefighting operations were successfully carried out, thanks to
this is what you didn't hear one thing about that, Jeff. You just heard that he's criticizing, he's saying bad things. Meanwhile, he was providing life-saving, communication. This is what I'm saying. It's so corrupt. The system's so corrupt at this point. And then then I saw this guy. I don't know who this guy is, but he's fantastic. I'd like to get this guy with the laughing guy from the other night, and I think we'd be good. Maybe it's the same dude. I don't know. But listen to this guy.
Look at this American badass right here, son. That is an American badass. Look at the Pacific, how rough it is. He don't give a shit, son. He's like coming down in there. I got it, Captain. Watch, he's going to skim it right across the Pacific, son, and load that belly full of water. That right there is an American badass, son. Whoa, baby. Look at the concentration. Look at the focus, son. He's got a belly full, Captain. And he's fixing to lift her back up, baby. Holy smoke, son. That is an American badass. And here comes another one. Balls of steel, son. Balls of steel. Look at him. He's like, I don't give a shit. We got a fire to put out. Whoa, son. Thousands of gallons of water. And he just lifts off and flies off into the damn sunset. And here comes another one. Holy shit, baby. Look at him, son. That is some badasses, baby.
That's some serious badassery right there, Jeff. Holy shit. Get that guy a badass Yeti to go with it. Yeah, that guy's awesome. Fires, man. He's a badass, son. That was fantastic. I saw that. I 3 times. It was the energy, the excitement, right? It's fantastic.
That guy's awesome.
James
Rule.
Huh?
That James Rule XRP.
James Rule, but just James Rule XRP. That's right.
A double badass. Need some badassery. Chip, how many people do we have registered as we speak?
17, Jeff. 17. The magic number is 17. Josh Allen's number 17. Quarterback that crushed it today.
I gotta pull up. We're gonna give away.
It was like 4th and 3. And he's under attack. He throws in the end zone, an amazing catch. 4th down. Unbelievable. While you're doing that, I'm going to check out this scenery. Someone shot this on a plane. Unfortunately, they also don't know that you can turn your phone sideways. But here's the soccer mom. It's okay. The good news is here they caught. But this is an interesting view of the Palisades wildfires. Watch this. flying over. See more if you turn your phone up. Come up. If you're left of the video, your eye on the left of that video. Wildfire. Right here. I love that you have music there. The fire. I love the music. Coming. Boom. Wow. Look at that. That's insane. Look at that. Oh, please, yeah. The wildfire is a massive
amount of area. Crazy.
Look at how long it is. It's crazy. That's insane, man. When you actually see that from that perspective, holy cats, it's unbelievable. It's insanity, man. Insanity.
Here's the guy we're going to give away.
Get him up there.
Just double check him real quick.
Yeah, do that.
Boom. Okay. We're going to give away one of the ass kickers. This is an ass kicker. If you guys have ever seen an ass kicker, the ass kickers are kicking some ass. Man, I don't even know where to go after watching those fires and just, following this stuff for
like here. Let me help you here. Let's watch. This is Pastor Jack Hibbs, and he was given this. He's from Southern California. It's unusual to see a pastor spitting truth bombs because they usually try to stay neutral. But let's listen in here.
We have watched the absolute exposure of the most incompetent. Wait, reserve your applause to the end. Nobody can hide from this. Nobody can hide from it. There's no excuses. This is the most wealthiest state in the 50. We pay the most in taxes. We pay the most in gas. We pay the most in electricity. You name it. If it's in California, we pay the most for it. Why? Why? Because of our government. Why? Because of things that Sacramento does because they can. Our flag of this state is an absolute abject lie. The flag says California Republic. It is not. A republic is where the people decide and the people have their way. What has happened to California? And you prove me wrong. I challenge you today, if you don't like what I'm about to say. California has been under unmitigated Democrat 100% power control. Democrat. Supermajority. What does that mean, supermajority? It means nobody can oppose their decision making. And now you've got it. You've got a situation where a catastrophe came and the billions of dollars that you and I gave was diverted to other woke, stupid Democrat projects. That's not hyperbole. It is a fact. You don't like it, change your party. If you don't like it, change different. But I'm telling you right now, I'm upset and I'm angry, and it's the right kind of anger. I'm telling you this right now. When you open up a fire hydrant and nothing comes out, and then Joe Biden says, it's because we need electricity. It was turned off for the fire hydrant to turn on. In some cases, that might be true. If the fire hydrants are on top of a mountain, you need a motor to drive the water up. That's extremely rare, and it wasn't the case in these fires. Bad management, horrific politicians who took your money and took trips like Karen Bass, the mayor of LA. She decided to go to Africa the week of the fires to be on a little trip that you paid for. She was really put out when she was told to come home. It didn't look bad. I mean, it didn't look good, that it looked very bad. You've got Gavin Newsom flying down here and then at a command center laughing it up with some people, and it's caught on tape.
while he spends 9 point so many millions of probably your dollars to buy himself a new house. It's time to replace the leadership in California. You don't need any more examples. These fires could have been stopped.
It's great, man. So you see people rise up everywhere. You see it in the UK. But what happens is you put in these folks that just don't have your back. They don't have your best interest. And what happens? You end up with this unmitigated 100% Democrat rule, right? At least, oh boy. Yeah, he did that. He's never accepted into the White House or spoken with. There you go. The amount of foreign aid flowing in. Yeah. Well, Elon Musk was saying something. This is something I thought was pretty interesting too. I want to show this story because, again, this is just look, you got to point out the insanity here. This is not normal. This right here. So he was commenting on this right here. California is spending $2.6 billion per year on healthcare for illegals. Meanwhile, there are families that are going under because they couldn't pay a medical bill because in the U.S., it's privatized insurance. If you don't have insurance, you come out of pocket for it. That covers 700,000 illegals, ages 26 to 29. That costs $2.6 billion. Elon Musk said, well, this will scale to enormous numbers as California passed a bill providing free health care to illegals. Took effect last year. Essentially, anyone on Earth can come to California for free health care. Earth has 8 billion people. California has 40 million people. There are not enough doctors to take care of everyone, even with infinite funding. This is insane.
There's stupidity.
Stupidity beyond stupidity.
They're all culpable for the collapse of their state. It's so insane that people are still living there and just kind of accept it, and accept it as, well, what can you do? And so, but we're seeing the outcome. Sometimes you got to go through stuff to finally get the people they're going to turn around, So I think people are making that big, they're making that change. I think the next voting, whenever that comes up in 2 years, I don't know when governor is up over there, probably within the next 2 years. I think we're going to see some major changes in California.
Caitlyn Jenner wants to run for governor. I think we might find Caitlyn Jenner would do a phenomenal job. It's totally red-pilled, totally, a big supporter of Trump going back to 2016. It's incredible. I want to play one more thing, Jeff, and I want to get your thoughts on this, and we'll get out of here. We'll do we'll go to the giveaway and get out of here. But listen to this.
Good morning, America. Just want to give y'all an update. This ship carries 1.8 million barrels of crude oil at max capacity, but will safely carry 1.3 million barrels. It has not been in operation for the last 7 years. Right now, we are coming up the western side of Africa, headed towards the Gulf of America, because we're about to drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part to make sure that this happens. God bless America. Let's get to work.
There you go.
Like that, Jeff. Drill, baby, drill.
America. It's going to be amazing. It's
the
amazing.
Gulf of America, there's no restrictions,
Yeah.
Only restrictions on the Gulf of Mexico. So there you have it. That's all we have. Let's go to the giveaway here. Let's do this.
Hang on. We got to bring up the bad boy that we're giving away. Look at that ass kicker, right? Look at that ass kicker. Look at the armor, the detail of the sword. Like I was gripping it by the blade. Man, he's posing for that picture. He's going to get violent because he's an ass kicker.
Sword right there. That's insane, dude.
Cute face, but he's got a kick-ass sword. That's an ass-kicking sword right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
The detailed armor. So intricate.
Liquid or remnants on it.
Yeah, you can see that. Yeah,
Valerian
definitely
steel
is.
right there.
It's nice.
That was a Valerian steel. Anybody know where that reference is from? Let me know if you know the Valerian steel reference. Here we go. Let's go ahead and somebody will say it in the comments. I know that. We'll show this.
Yeti. A wife approved Yeti. There we go.
Wife approved Yeti. Good.
Erica Bay Yeti.
Bay Yeti. Bay Yeti.
There's crypto welcome. Jump. There you go.
Game of Thrones. That's right. Valerian steel. Good one, Mark. I knew you guys are smart. I knew that.
And
GOT, Game of Thrones. Yep, you got it as well.
It's quick.
Crypto just woke up. Well, dude. I mean, it is 5 hours ahead. I mean, I'll tell you one of the things that's on the docket, at least has been talked about, is we go through this daylight savings time BS every freaking year, where you spring forward in spring and you fall back an hour, and we're talking about just getting rid of it, which I would be super happy, because it takes me 2 months to get used to it, and then next you know they're changing again. Are you going to work, Crypto Up? All right, man.
Yeah, no.
Well, back to this. But anyway, throw your Yeti thing in there. Crypto Up, let's make sure.
So there we go. Anyhow, so we got 20 in.
20.
So here we go. We're gonna roll it.
Ready? That's a vicious, cute Yeti. Yeah,
it is a vicious
Yeti. Cute. Yeah.
The great thing about the Yetis, a lot of them look cute, but they're
Human Masters Universe. Incorrect. No, that's maybe it is. I don't think they had Valerian steel on that, but possible. Who knows?
Yeti snowman.
Yeti. There's 22 guys, so I don't know if Crypto Wealth, did Crypto Wealth get in there? I don't know if he got in there or not.
Oh, and when you win, everybody prep before we hit the go button. Make sure you're prepped with your Zaman wallet. Get your Zaman wallet address ready. Get it out. Get it ready. Get the address, because as soon as you win, you're going to post your address in the comments. We're going to grab it and we're going to transfer it right away. So make sure you're got the finger on the button. You're ready to go, and you're going to send that bad boy over the as soon as we do the drawing. Chad Nauseum, he was like, as soon as it was the fastest drawing transfer in the history of the show. It's like he won. Boom. Ready to go. It was faster than the actual transaction.
Doctor wants to know how you enter. Type in the word Yeti on. You see the word on the screen there, Yeti. You type that in.
Type in Yeti, and then we're good to go.
Make sure you have a Zaman wallet and make sure that your wallet is funded and that you can give us the wallet address.
Zaman. If you guys haven't seen the Zaman wallet, hopefully you have, because this is what you're going to need.
So we've got now 25, Jeff. If you've already typed it only records it once. So if you do it multiple times, doesn't matter. Red tie, Yeti. Red tie, Yeti.
Taking the red eye. There's the Zaman wallet right there, right? Zaman.
But if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to download it and fund it and do all that. That's why you want to do that when you show up here.
If you don't have it today, though, and you come back, what's today? Come back Wednesday night.
Stacker, you must have typed it in. It's 25. So okay. Here we go, guys. Let's let it roll. Let's go back. Ready?
Oh.
Hey now. Here we go. I'm gonna click it. Ready? Let's go.
Ready? Go.
Here it goes. Where it stopped, nobody knows. Scott M. Another badass Yeti to the collection. There you go, Scott. Scott M. Tell me you're here. Tell me you're here. Let's hear that you're here.
So let's say Scott M. Let us know that you're here.
That badass right there. That's vicious, dude.
Are you here? Oh, he's there. Boom. Look at that. Look how fast that was. You see that? Scott M. Waiting. Congratulations, Scott. That is awesome. Hang on. I got to go.
Damn, look at this. That might have set a new record. I don't know.
That was almost, I think, record. And Chad Nauseum.
Everybody's congratulating Adrian S. Big congratulations with Ray Run. Mark.
YouTube. Give me a minute.
Damn, that was ready. You're absolutely right, Crypto Caddy. That was certainly something amazing. Congrats. This is Rerun John. Yeah.
It's actually taking me longer to get it now because I gotta log back into the studio.
There you go. There you go. Scott M. Congrats, my man. Woo!
And there it is right there. I'm here.
Yeah,
Not
love
only
when
did
that.
not only was he able to type it in that he's here, but he was also able to paste at the same time. So here we go.
Yeah.
So let's this bad boy. This is a really cool NFT. I love the ass kicker. So here we go. I'm hitting transfer. We're going to transfer this over, and it's going to be it's just like seconds. It's amazing how fast these transfers go. It's like boom, queued up. Hit the accept, scan, make sure I'm logging, verifying. It's accepted, submitted over there. Verifying, and that's it. Done. Sent. We just sent that bad boy over to Scott M. Scott M has a brand new, beautiful ass kicker. Look at
Ass
that.
kicker. Let's go. All right,
Badass
guys. That's
Yeti.
10. You transfer it?
5. It's gone. It's transferred.
Well,
Scott M
fantastic.
now the owner of a ass kicker.
So it's officially transferred. Is what you're telling me? It's officially transferred?
It's officially transferred. It's done.
I love it.
In 65.
Yeah.
Boom. Right. That's it.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Great to have you guys here. We're going to get out of here on Wednesday.
And that was really cool. That was quick. No, it's great. That's really, really cool. Excited to see it. It's awesome.
All right, guys. So we know we will see you guys on the next one. You know what's coming next?
Nope.
Sure you do.
What's next?
The show. You know what's coming next.
Chip
and Jeff.
Oh. Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.